Contender Series 2025, week number 2. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. I'm looking forward to talking about each of the matchups on this card after seeing the fighters on the scales. So make sure you guys smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure you share the video too. Also note, I'll be live for the entire card Tuesday, which is tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Full card fight companion. I'm excited for it. Make sure you tune into it. Some more Contender Series savagery coming up this week. And hey, let's hope the main event is better than last week. I believe it will be. That was a weird one-off bad main event for Contender Series. Let's get into fight one. We got Tommy Cuozzi versus Ramiro Jimenez. I'm going with the side of Jimenez to get the win over Cuozzi in this one. I feel like his style seems relatively slick. Kickboxing game, definitely on point. Has a southpaw stance, and he has a good explosiveness to his game, but also like a slick patience to his movement. I'd say he's a sharp striker with good precision on his shots. I like the way that he rips combination punches together. I also like the way that he has a confident flow to his attack. Seems like very sure of himself in all of his offense. Wasn't a pretty crazy back and forth fight versus Burgos. And he ended up winning that. And then he won that whole tournament, which like took place over the course of 2 days. He had 3 fights and won like $100,000. That dude that he had a dogfight with, Burgos, the guy that gave him the hardest fight in the whole tournament, it was fight number 1, test positive for steroids his next fight. Dude was definitely juiced to the gills, and still Jimenez was able to absorb some massive shots from the pressure fighter, some big barrages early, and then hurt him and do damage and end up winning the fight. So I know some folks will look at that and say, oh, well, he got pushed to the brink hard versus Burgos a few fights ago. It was Pablo Burgos. Yeah, but he still found his way to win. And I'm promising you guys, that dude was on the Sazul before his next fight. He was on it in the fight against Jimenez too. You could tell in the way that he was able to just go, 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 go. That's some roided flow. I like Jimenez, man. Digs deep, rips hard shots, good ground skills too. Has a solid grappling game, good Kimura actually as well. Seems like a very blue chip prospect with things I like to see. Slickness on the feet, good accuracy with his shots, has an ability to overcome adversity, which I like a ton. And I think dealing with the roided out freak should be able to handle this one. And winning 3 fights in a matter of 2 days, pretty impressive. On the other side, Tommy Cuozzi, he's a pressure brawler. It's not like he's had that many high-level fights. He actually lost 4 straight amateur fights before turning pro. That's really interesting, right? And then to see him turn it around and now have an 8-0 pro record, it's pretty impressive here. With Cuozzi, I see a bit of hitability, was getting stung up as an amateur. I can't think of the name. I got to see now. I know the guy. I can see his face, not his name. Chris McCarty, he lost to. He got stung up in some other amateur fights, man. I don't know, man. I don't know with Cuozzi. He gets hit. His chin's there. And if you watch him fight, it has just been a reckless, abandoned, crazy, brawling pressure style with just explosive punches into takedowns and just go, 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 go. He's definitely a beast, but at what caliber does that type of style get stopped at? Normally here. I mean, Jimenez dealt with a chaotic, berserking, pressuring savage who was on roids. Now in Cuozzi, I think Jimenez finds holes. I think he probably beats him by finish too. Cuozzi's last fight, he fought this guy Giovanni Meza, but that was on a losing streak. Seemed checked out. Win before that against a 2-4 dude. But this win, Theo Ralliang, he fought to a decision against Stephen Nguyen on the Contender Series a while back. So there is something to take away. He fought one like pretty legit test in Theo, and he was able to stop him, you know, put on like this usual blistering attack, which is big hooks, constant pressure, and aggressiveness off rip. Cuozzi's got a fun style. I don't know. I got a hunch that we're going to see him eventually in the BKFC with the way that he fights. And I think Jimenez is just too schooled, too technically sound, too well-rounded, too slick, too explosive, too accurate. Just too good, man. I really think Jimenez by knockout is a possibility. He also does have the sub abilities in the back pocket. Cuozzi might have a strong chin. We'll find out if it's iron or not. I could see Jimenez subbing him as well. If need be, decision. But I think too much damage will be done. After last week's Contender Series, I swear to God, these guys are going to come out hard. And I'm expecting violence off rip here. And I think Jimenez taking it home with the finish makes the most sense. Let's check these guys out on the scales. We got Jimenez looking on point. Both guys weighed in about accurate. 146.2 is actually the weight miss on the other side. Just did a quick double check. No, he missed weight, or he didn't miss weight. Excuse me. There's a different fighter in the car that missed weight. They got that as a miss mark on Tapology. Cuozzi was on point at 145 and a half. I'm like, did I miss something? No, I was right. Both guys on point. Both guys ready to go in the featherweight division. Both guys looking in solid physical condition and, frame wise similar in the face off here in the side by side. I don't think physicality and physiques has anything to do with it here. I think that the skill set of Jimenez will be the ultimate difference maker. I favor his slick striking. I think he has a very capable ground game, and I think he's a strong athlete. And I see him with the edge over Cuozzi in this one. And the bookies agree. Shout out to the Zin as I pop it out. Minus 370 for Jimenez, plus 295 for Cuozzi. Let's see what the over-unders are. Under 1.5 at minus 145. Cuozzi could survive longer. He's a tough customer. He's undefeated, right? To pick an early finish, sure, Jimenez could sting him up, but wouldn't be crazy if it was later stage. Probably violence under 2.5 at minus 185, but they are featherweights, and we don't know about Cuozzi's chin. It seems to be decent. Been dropped before, but finds ways to win as a pro, man. Yeah, his amateur run wasn't great at the end, but that's a long time ago. As a professional, he's unbeaten. Jimenez does have a pretty impressive 5 knockouts, but he's got the 3 submissions. Maybe the surprise sub. I'm thinking Jimenez finishes him in a dogfight at some point throughout. But at the end of the day, I feel like you got to respect Cuozzi's chin. At least early, I think he can absorb some shots, but his bell's going to get rung, and I think he's going to end up going down and, getting finished either by a club and sub or a knockout. I got Jimenez. I like inside distance Jimenez, but your best bet would be parlaying him up in a money line. Should be the better fighter. And even if Cuozzi is made out of steel, I think that Jimenez finds a way to get it done. Whether it's a dominant decision or a finish, I'm going Jimenez. Next fight, we got Josh Hokit versus Guilherme Uriel. I'm going with Hokit in this fight here. He's a former Division I All-American wrestler and also was a professional NFL player. I think he's okay. He's good. He's a good wrestler. The worry is, though, Uriel is a bomb thrower. His style is reckless abandonment, ripping wild hooks in range, starting incredibly fast, putting pressure on you and just throwing caution to the wind in search of a violent knockout. Now, that cost him bad 2 fights ago against a Contender Series loser in Lucas Camacho. He was knocked out bad by Pinto on Contender Series last season. And I don't know, the loss for Uriel in that one, he was able to blitz early and landed the knockdown and had some big moments, but then he gassed out. The thing about Uriel is he has a very 7-minute style. Right? He's a round and a half or less probably of gas in the way that he attacks because it's literally fire from the jump. Does have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu first degree black belt, but how much does that mean against a well-conditioned Division I All-American wrestler and a former pro football player that's developing, an MMA game? I feel like takedown ability has to go towards Hokit in this one. The thing I will tell you is Isaiah Hokit, the brother of Josh Hokit, was violently knocked out in his Bellator debut in 10 seconds, right? Went on to get 3 wins as a pro and hasn't fought since 2023. But there has been a brother that was chinned in a big upset loss before in the family. Just saying, maybe he could get caught by something stupid. I haven't been blown away by Hokit's striking. He has okay boxing. I will say basic boxing, but his game is built upon wearing people down with the wrestling threat. He's a definite wrestling threat in this matchup here. Uriel throws such chaos that I just think he's going to be getting countered and taken down. And I think that the bullying force wrestling-wise on the Hokit side is probably going to be too much. I'll also say I feel like Hokit's cardio has got to be better. I really have doubts about Uriel past, I said 7 minutes, but it might be past 5 minutes. He's a guy that comes out guns blazing, and either he's knocking you out or he's getting knocked out. That's the truth of him. Worrisome cardio, and we'll check out the scales, and you'll see he doesn't have a world caliber physique on him that screams going 5 rounds or anything like that. Hokit definitely more capable in winning a fight that goes longer. Unless he's getting caught with a big shot and knocked out, I think he should be okay. Early barrage from Uriel's a factor, and if Hokit sits in the pocket and just slugs, definitely live to get caught. Uriel has the knockout chance, 100%. He's a big underdog here, but there's a knockout possibility with him. He's not completely incapable. Yes, he's got the black belt in jiu-jitsu, but I think it's negated by the much superior athlete and the Division I All-American wrestling game. I see Hokit as the guy that dictates where the fight takes place. Ultimately, he's going to have to deal with a barrage early. Cannot go outside of himself and try to slug back, even if he's tempted. I really think it would be a risk to sit in the pocket, especially early in round number one with somebody like Uriel. Best bet for Hokit, deal with the early storm, clinch up, look for takedowns against the cage, or even just hold Uriel against the cage and wear the beast down because he does not have the cardio to go long. Hokit has a 3rd-round win in his pro debut. I think we're going to see Hokit hit some takedowns. I think we're going to see Hokit wear on Uriel. Even if he's caught early, we're going to find out everything. Is Hokit really a fighter that can make it or not? Because if he gets stung by one big shot and goes down, no chin, well, it's going to cost you at heavyweight. I'm going to say that Hokit can deal with an early storm from Uriel, wear on him, beat him up, and then probably break him. I see Uriel fatiguing towards minute number 4, even minute number 3 of the fight. Even if he's having success early on, Hokit doesn't get knocked out or submitted, he should be okay. Plan on wearing on Uriel as opposed to blitzing him earlier. I think a 2nd-round finish comes. I think Hokit to win this fight early 2nd round TKO ground and pound is a smart strategy. Now, sure, could he get Uriel down and stop him in round 1? Absolutely. There's a possibility, okay? Just because you have a black belt in jiu-jitsu, they're not wearing gis, okay? This is not gi jiu-jitsu. It's MMA. The grappling style is a lot more fast-paced. It's different. I think that Hokit's athleticism, cardio, and wrestling skill are going to carry, but I just have a little bit of worry when I see such a wide tag and like seeming like such a certain victory coming. Uriel's not incapable. He's got wins in LFA and he hits hard, okay? If Hokit's sitting on the feet slugging with him, he is at risk of getting knocked out. His striking is basic. If he gets this fight to the ground, even if he controls top position from half guard and does fuck all, I get it. UFC, Dana White's Contender Series, they're not looking for that per se, but to try and just win the contract off a blitz, he could end up on the wrong side of a big upset knockout loss in this one if he gets crazy. So smart strategy is to wear on Uriel and then stop him in the 2nd or 3rd. I definitely think Uriel has no gas left round 3, and I think he's running on E come round 2 anyways. So if Hokit can stay poised, stay calm, mix in takedowns, control against the cage, avoid the blitzes as Uriel's going for these crazy shots, get under him and take him to the mat and control top position and not force anything, not rush anything, I think we're going to see Hokit win. I don't think Uriel has this slick bottom game jiu-jitsu where I'm too worried about Hokit getting caught in a Kimura or an triangle from bottom or an arm bar, anything like that. I feel as though Uriel's chance is the knockout shot and him putting Hokit down in the first 3 minutes with a wild bomb if Hokit gets reckless. I don't think he will. I think he'll be seasoned. I think he'll fight smart. Listen, Jackson Wink needs a win. Pico went out bad last week. I think Hokit can give him that win, and I think he gets a stoppage in this one. Ground and pound TKO makes the most sense, and that's going to be my official prediction for the matchup. Let's check out the guys on the scale. You can see Uriel, listen, he's a big boy. Heavy dude. He's going to have the weight advantage. 238 to 248, 10 pounds the edge on his side. There's Hokit on the other side. Looks like a more, mid-sized heavyweight, to be fair. Then there's the face-off between the two. I think Hokit can win it. I do. But Uriel's a gunslinger. You watch his fights, you're like, yo, a guy that throws caution to the wind like that is a scary test for an unproven prospect. And if the unproven prospect with just 5 pro fights gets crazy, you could get caught with something stupid. But I'm going to say that he fights smart, secures wrestling control, and ends up winning by ground and pound in the 2nd or late 1st even. Minus 435 for Hokit. Uriel sitting at plus 335 is the dog. I think under 2.5 makes a lot of sense here. Probably under 1.5. If I had to pick it, I'll say yes, but I prefer under 2.5 more. Not a line available. If it is, it's probably 5-1. But at the end of the day, it's about getting shit right. I think that under 2.5 is a lock in this fight. Even if it's at chalky odds, you could go a Jimenez, you could go an under 2.5 here, and then I'll give you more with some of the other fights on the card as far as how a parlay could be built. But I'm going to say Hokit inside distance. Specifically, I'm going to say Hokit ground and pound TKO in this matchup. I'm picking the Hokit side over Guilherme. I think he should be able to win, but scary barrage early, that's the worry. Next fight on the card. We had a weight miss in this one. We have Louis Lee Scott versus Kaushik Singh Kumar. Okay? The name is killing me. Kaushik versus Louis Lee. I'm going to go towards the side of Louis Lee Scott to win. I will tell you, though, I don't love the fact that he was a bit over the limit on the scale. There he is. He missed weight. Came in at 136.5. First try, he was actually 137.5. Still half a pound over. Never a good look when you're looking to get the contract. Now, to talk about the good that he does, because I am going to pick Louis Lee Scott regardless of the botched weight cut. Pretty technical guy. Sound in kickboxing. Very quick. Good movement. Good ability to switch stances. Land good body kicks. He actually has an overall pretty good kicking game. Not like a Taekwondo specialist kicking game, but like a sound snapping body kicks into head kicks and low kicks type of kicking skill set with good side kicks as well. Does have good range management, does move at a quick rate. His footwork's quite on point. And on the ground, he scrambles well. He's got fast transition speed. Decent on the offensive wrestling side of things. Not an elite caliber wrestler, but has some abilities to take people down. He's got 5-round experience, too. In Aries FC, he was able to beat DeMarte Pena, 14-1. That's a good win to have on the record. Fight after that, beat an undefeated guy in Yusuf Benate, who was 5-0, and he submitted him in the first round. Louis Lee Scott's pretty good. Bad look that he missed weight, but when you watch him fight, what you think is, okay, this is a technically sound young man that has good timing on his strikes, that has 5-round cardio, that has an ability to scramble well and get back up to his feet if he is in compromised spots grappling, has a good submission game in his own right, and a proficient technical kickboxing skill set. And Aries FC level that he's fought at is quite impressive. Now, on the other side, Kaushik Singh Kumar, he's a Ryan Hall prospect. I don't know, man. He's got a tricky jiu-jitsu game, I guess. Little bit upright kickboxing style, a little bit of a stiff high guard. Does have solid kicks and good knees up the center. Has a knee knockout too as a pro. Tends to fall to his back often, which you see from those 50-50 fighters representing the Ryan Hall gym. They're very comfortable off their back, and they like to play bottom game jiu-jitsu because that's really built into their style, like Ryan Hall's. But I think Louis Lee Scott is going to be too sound technically in the striking. Wrestling defense on point. I don't think Saikumar is going to be rolling to some type of knee bar or anything like that. I think he's outgunned in the technicality side striking. I think there's a clear speed advantage for Louis Lee Scott. And I really think Louis is going to get the win. I feel like a knockout is possible, man. Kaushik represent India. I'll be honest with you, of a lot of the Indian fighters we've seen over the recent years, I feel like Kaushik might be the most athletic of the bunch and seems to have some promise as a pro, but I'm not blown away. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's what I'll tell you. That's how I feel about him. Watching him, I'm like, upright kickboxing, rolls for legs, falls to his back a lot. Yeah, he got a nice knee knockout, but I don't know, man. The guy went out pretty bad, to be fair. He's complaining about the stoppage after, but it was legit. I'm trying to think about his game, like he's fought okay opposition. Like, I'm not trying to really shit on Saikumar because he's better than a lot of these Indian guys you see coming from India. And it makes sense. He's training in America. He's training at 50-50. There's going to be glimpses of Ryan Hall. He's a Ryan Hall prospect. He's undefeated as a professional, but I got Louis Lee Scott, who fought in Aries FC at a high level, beat Pena. I think that's just too much. He should probably find a TKO at some point. If not, a pretty clean decision. I'm sure we're going to see Saikumar look to roll for legs. look to shoot for different positions from bottom, especially if Lewis Lee Scott plays the ground game with them. But Lewis Lee Scott, undefeated as a pro, a solid grappling skill set. I think he's good to go in this one. I'm going to take him to win. It would be a damn big surprise if he gets caught in some type of leg entanglement and he ends up getting tapped. I don't think so. I'm going with Lewis Lee Scott. There he is, though. Miss weight. I hate that he missed weight. I really do. If you look at Lewis Lee Scott, most recent fight, he was at catch weight on 140. It was supposed to be a bantamweight fight. And then this matchup here, fought against DeMarte Pena. That's actually a big win for him to get the belt over 5 rounds with Pena. That means a lot. Like, Pena's good, man. He lost only to Taylor Lapalus as a pro before. So it's like the level of opposition with Lewis Lee Scott, I think too much of a difference maker. I know he missed weight by half a pound, but if he goes out and gets a knockout, which I think he's capable of doing, I feel as though he still gets a contract. On the other side, we got Kaushik Saikumar. He looks good. He's in shape for sure. So he's very athletic. Indian fighters normally don't have that type of athleticism. A little bit of an uninspired face-off, though, from Lee Scott in this one as they face off. I have to go with a 5-round experienced guy. More pro fights, fought in Aries FC. It should be Lewis Lee Scott. Watch for his head kicks, especially the upright striking of Saikumar. He could get caught by some. I'll be honest, I keep calling him Saikumar, Kaushik. You know what I'm talking about. Well, hey, listen, if he wins, I promise I won't get his name wrong again. Minus 450 for Lee Scott. I agree with the odds. Plus 350 for Kaushik. Let's see. Over 1.5, minus 200. It's possible for an over 1.5, but I don't love it, man. I think Lewis Lee Scott should get the win, but it could be a decision. Then again, though, a nice high kick could end up putting Kumar out. He's never lost as a pro, though. So, to say that it's certain to go under, no, I can't favor that. I don't really like the over-unders here. I'll lean towards yes if I have to, but I do think Lewis Lee Scott at some point is live for a finish. I'll say KO, TKO, or decision as official method of victory prediction in this one. Should be Lewis Lee Scott looking more sound technically in all areas. And he seems to be a lot faster in striking and quite defensively sound and capable in grappling too, where I'm not so worried about him getting like exploited on the ground by Saikumar. I don't think so. Lewis Lee Scott, W. Let's get to the co-main event of the evening. We got Brandon Holmes versus Cam Rowston. I'm picking Cam Rowston. I do not understand how he's an underdog. I don't know how much longer he's going to be an underdog for. I really think that he's going to tune Brandon Holmes up badly. Brandon Holmes was rocked against Borrego, who's a journeyman. That was his last fight. And that was, 3 months ago? How much better has he gotten since then? Like, he's got wins as a pro 2-0, 6-5, 0-0, 1-1, I'm watching Brandon Holmes and I'm like, how is he a favorite? Okay, he's a southpaw, seems athletic, does have, decent explosive abilities, does have, a bit of sting in his hands. He rips big hooks, but definitely a bit stiff in his striking. If you see, he has a bad habit of bringing his hands back slowly and like bringing them down. Doesn't have the greatest return to his guard. So technically, I would say he is inefficient in a defensive manner because he doesn't have a lot of head movement, nor does he have this great parrying or blocking ability. Seems very counterable, like a forward pressure guy just looking for all offense. Yeah, he was able to beat Borrego, and yeah, he hurt him too, but seeing him rocked in that fight is a big red flag because I don't rate Borrego very high. And I think on the opposite side, Rowston's loss on Contender Series last season was against Therese Finney, who is a freakish specimen of a man with insane physical strength in wrestling. Got grapple fucked in that fight, took the L, but striking-wise, still had a couple of moments on the feet. You can see a lot of the city kickboxing influence on him. Also has kickboxing fights to go alongside of the MMA experience. But he's known for good submissions, man. Strong wrestling. Now, not Therese Finney freak taking him down, subbing him, but strong MMA wrestling. Legitimate submission threat as well. 7 sub wins as a pro. Has a very nice long jab. Follows it with good straights. Good lateral movement. Solid leg kicks. A lot of comfortability striking-wise. Defensively, he's sound. I think he's countering Brandon Holmes, and he might flatline KO Brandon Holmes in this one. Holmes does not bring his guard back efficiently, and I think we could see Rowston find that chin and knock him flat out. But even if not, I could see Rowston out grappling Holmes and winning the fight by a submission too. I think he's got every box checked as far as the areas go and getting a win. And he's an underdog. And Brandon Holmes is taking this fight on short notice too. I'm surprised to see betting lines like this. I'm anticipating a line flip by the time we get to fight day. So if you like Cam Rowston, I would bet him soon because he is a very live and capable underdog. More pro experience. I mean, nearly triple the pro fights plus the kickboxing background. Brandon Holmes is a good athlete, but I'd call him, simply put, a raw talent. Cam Rowston has capable skills in all areas of mixed martial arts, and definitely being at City Kickboxing, you can see the influence of high caliber striking technique, man. I really think he's going to find counters on Holmes, and I think he's going to end up hurting him on the feet, potentially knocking him out, but could end up surprising us for a submission as well because he's capable in all areas and he's not fighting a Therese Finney this time. I think we're going to get the breakout fight for him. And 3 wins since that loss to Therese Finney. I love a guy that goes out and wins. He forces his way back. W in his last fight against Alfred Stoddart, who was 4-3, beat a 3-1 prospect by submission there, and then beat a 1-3 guy as a little gimme win. But still, 3 fights, right? Getting experience since the last time. Wasn't even a year since that Therese Finney fight. So over the past 12 months, 4 pro fights. This kid's a sharpened blade. Of course, the Zach Borrego fight was recent, but prior to that, just 1. So less experience and less active. Yo, I think Cam Rowston is repping City Kickboxing well this week. And I think we're going to get a Tuesday night violent finish for him and an underdog pick getting a contract. I had an underdog last week with Radley De Silva. He won. And I think in this one, we got a win coming for Cam Rowston. There he is on the scale. Looking in solid shape, ready to go. Tall and lanky. There's Holmes on the other side, straight flexing. Look at that height difference, man. Brandon Holmes, 6'2". Cam Rowston, 6'2". Bro, this is 6'4" to 5'11". What are they talking about? I'm telling you right now, Cam Rowston is not going to stay the underdog. I think it'd be crazy if he did. I think he's about to show levels to the raw talent. And I'm going Cam Rowston by finish. I think he gets it done inside the distance. I think that's a solid bet because he does have a multitude of facets he can win by. It can be technical striking. It could be a good counter straight. It could be a high kick. It could be a body kick. It could be a guillotine. It could be a rear naked choke. It could be a Kimura. He could win in a lot of manners. So I like inside distance as opposed to chasing a knockout or sub prop. How is Cam Rowston an underdog? I don't understand. I don't get it. I think this is the give me dog of the week. Plus 130. This is my fucking underdog lock on this card. If I had to do an underdog lock, this is it. I feel like Rowston's going to pull it through. I will be very, very surprised if Brandon Holmes has improved a lot since that fight against Borrego, because I don't see it, man. I don't see what they're seeing. Plus 130 to minus 160. Give me Rowston all day. Give me Rowston all day. Over 2.5, minus 115. I do think this fight's live to end inside of the distance, but fuck that. Let me just bet Cam Rowston underdog money line straight at plus 130. I'm saying he gets a contract. I'm saying he gets a finish, and I think he's a damn good dog pick. I got the dog in the co-main event. We're going Rowston, taking out the short notice favorite? What? City Kickboxing represent. Let's get to the main event. You guys are watching and enjoying, make sure you all smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We got Manuel Exposito versus José Delano. I'm going to call the side of Delano to get the win in this spot. I do believe he can pull through. What I've seen of Delano that I like is a very comfortable southpaw kickboxing game. Punches are pretty clean. Quite relaxed with solid 1-2s, and also has, I would say, good offensive wrestling, strong top game, and good control from top, as well as good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu transitions into back takes and things of that magnitude. He's very relaxed in the striking department, and I'd say he's got good accuracy, good precision on his shots, and also nice combination punches as well. Submission threat is definitely there in this fight, as he has some slick submission skills. Being a seasoned veteran and crafty, 15-3, 13-2. Both guys got a lot of fights, but Delano been fighting in LFA for a long time. Fought against Gabriel Santos back 2.5 years ago. Got stopped in the 3rd round of that fight, but Santos is a fucking great prospect in the UFC and gave Lerone Murphy the toughest test of his damn career, outside of, I guess, Zubaira Tuhugov, but the toughest test as of recent. I think that Delano is quite good and quite UFC level. Watching the tape on him, I said, yeah, I see this guy getting into the octagon. I see this guy fighting on a, UFC Rio card maybe for an opening bout later on this year. I think he can get it done in this matchup here. Now, to be fair though, I want to give credit on the opposite side. I am not telling you Manuel Exposito is a shit can. Manuel Exposito is a dog tough brawling style, okay? Pressure based game, rips heavy punches, reckless, abandoned. Guys that are Tasmanian devils like that can have great success, but also can get caught. He has been knocked out, but to be fair, that stoppage was a bit early. I think it was a bad call by the referee to jump in, but he was badly rocked, hurt, and then stopped standing. The reason he got hurt is because he's literally throwing, his chin does not move. The head doesn't move. It's here. The head on the center line just coming forward, winging shots, bah, 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 coming after you, throwing bombs. It's fun to watch, but you're sitting there and you sit on a shot and you counter him, he's going to get hurt. And Delano being southpaw, being sound in the striking, having a good counter ability, I think he's going to find a lot of big shots on Exposito. Though Exposito's been hurt, I still think he's got a decent chin on him. He didn't go flat out. But red flags around his defense. I mean, the guy is straight blast, looking to beat your ass, slam you. His takedown game is solid. Big blitz into the takedown. I'm calling him a reckless berserker who's hittable, but does have some physicality, does have some offensive striking force, and is dangerous. But can I pick an Exposito against a technically sound Delano? No. I don't think he's knocking him out. Like, he's got the submission threat. He does have, decision win recently. Like, he's done well. He's got a gilly. Like, he's got some skills. He's got explosiveness with the hands. But I'm telling you, it's like very much just straight blast, like all gas, no brakes, and not even a thought of the opponent's offense, which I don't really like, other than the entertainment value side. When you're talking about an analytical breakdown of a fighter, Manuel Exposito is incredibly flawed. He's all offense. And on the other side, José Delano is technically sound. He's a calm fighter. Kind of contrary styles here. I think Exposito might attack him early and then Delano forced to retreat a bit. But then I believe he will start to find his timing. And I think he can sting Exposito with big shots. I think there's a live possibility of him putting Exposito out because of that reckless style that Exposito fights with, and Delano having good counter shots, knockout power. His last fight, he knocked out a Dagestan fighter who was 7-0 as a pro. Fight before that, a submission win. Got a good decision win over Suarez, and he controlled the grappling positions against a guy that's got good grappling. The Gabriel Santos loss, yes, it's an L, but he fought against a very good talent in Gabriel Santos, and somebody that I think is a future top 15 UFC featherweight. I think Delano should win, and I think he's live for a knockout in this one. Exposito is just too reckless with kind of no defensive awareness, which, makes it fun for the Contender Series, but not going to be fun when he's knocked out. So I'm going to go with Delano. I'm going violence. I'm going to say he gets a knockout. Could he win a tactical decision? Sure. But I'm thinking the way that Exposito fights, it's kind of like a Daniel Pineda chaotic brawling style. Just, less head movement, to be fair, and doesn't have the same level of grappling and submission threats. I think Delano should pull through in the matchup. There's Delano on the scales. He looks happy to be there, man. He looks excited. And then we got Exposito, who kind of looks like a badass savage, though. To be fair, Exposito's got that dog vibe. There's the face-off. It's a good fight, man. Exposito, he's got aura. I'll tell you straight, Exposito at the freaking weigh-in and the face-off made me double take it. I'm like, energy-wise, he's confident. And he looks like, he's this badass Argentine taking on the nerdier Brazilian karate specialist. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to favor the technically sound Brazilian over the brawler. Though I think that brawling style, if it is successful, is like instant contract. But I think Delano's getting signed too. Exposito's a fun watch, but I'm going for the guy with the better skills. I'm going Delano to win. I'm not going fluke factor. 5-1 favorite is José Delano. Very wide odds here. At open, it was 4-1, plus 375 for Exposito on the other side. And then let's see, under 2.5, minus 165. Fight should end inside of the distance with the way that Exposito fights, but that stoppage loss was early. So I'm just telling you guys, I don't think he's missed a glass Joe, but still rocked bad against Tommy Garcia. And I think that Delano is a level jump above that type of opposition. So I'm going to say Jose Delano to win, probably live for a KO. But if it goes all 3 rounds, I'm not going to be sitting here shell shocked. Oh my God, it went distance. Exposito survived. No, he's in shape. He's tough. It's just got no defense. And I'm going to favor a guy with effective offense and defense. And I'm going to say Delano wins. Though he did break against Gabriel Santos. So we'll give you that one red flag, but it was a big body shot. And body shots to the liver. Come on. Everybody breaking. Jose Delano should pull through. And I think he's probably getting a TKO or a KO. Maybe even a submission on a club and sub or something like that. Should be a pretty fun main event. Should be a pretty good Contender Series card overall. I think this will blow last week's card away as far as entertainment value. And those are my predictions, but I'm not done yet because I do want to discuss parlays. So sitting on it, thinking about it, I think that Jimenez should pull through at the minus 350 tag. Now, they do not have an under 2.5 rounds available for the Hokit fight versus Guilherme. Fight's actually down here for some reason. But I do think that under 2.5 rounds with Guilherme and Hokit is live, but I don't know if you'll be able to parlay it. Depends where you go. And I'm assuming that the odds are similar to the money line. So you might be looking at something like minus 175. Hokit, you could put him in a parlay and he should hit, but I will tell you he should not be a 450 favorite. I think more like minus 275, minus 300, because, he's unproven at a high caliber. Now, Jimenez, I do think pulls through. I feel as though second level of confidence, I mean, I have to really favor the side of Cam Rowston at these odds. Plus 209 if you parlay those two up, but you can just straight underdog bet Cam Rowston to win and not play him. Now, I think Lewis Lee Scott pulls through. So Jimenez, Lee Scott, minus 165 is live. You want to add in Rowston plus 286. I love the under 2.5 in the matchup between the heavyweights, but like I said, not available. And the under 1.5 is what you'll see in most spots. And currently the under 1.5 seems to be minus 200. It's probable. And I think it probably happens. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like the minus 200 as much, just for fantasy. If you were to throw a parlay together with an under 1.5 and you were going to go with Jimenez, it will be approximately minus 111, probably more like minus 107. I don't know the exact math, but I'll just use this. Ignore Fabian Edwards. And then you go Lewis Lee Scott plus 137, Cam Rowston plus 469. But again, I like the under 2.5 more, but that line obviously not available. And then I think Delano should win too. He's technically sound, but Exposito's a gritty dog and he comes out crazy. So there's that factor. If you were to sweep the card just with the straight money line picks in a parlay, which, possibility, plus 476 for that. We got 4 uglier favorites opposite 1 good underdog, plus 476 on the line. But you guys know, I like the under. I like, the side of Jimenez inside distance. I think Hokit wins inside distance. I think the under 2.5 hits in that fight. I think Lewis Lee Scott should win at minus 400. I think Cam Rowston's a great underdog. And then, Delano should pull through, but he's a fat favorite. So some explanation. Hopefully that helps guide you on your parlay. Props will drop probably later tonight into tomorrow. So maybe you guys are going to end up throwing some later stage parlays together. But I will suggest, if you are considering betting Cam Rowston as a dog, I do it now. And if you want to parlay him up with Jimenez, it'd be plus 209. I think that's a possibility. And then if you're like, hey, I also like Lee Scott, plus 286. There's things you can do. There's ways you can play it. I do think Jimenez pulls through. I do think Rowston pulls through. I like Rowston as a dog. I don't know why he's an underdog. Holmes will really surprise me if he goes out there, looks good, and ends up winning in this matchup. So those are my Dana White's Contender Series week number 2 for the 2025 season predictions. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the picks. I want to hear from the people and see what side are you guys on. You agree with Cam Rowston as the dog this week? I think he's calling all our names. I want to hear from you. And then do you think that Hokit gets upset? You think that Guilherme is coming out crazy, or are you thinking the same thing as me? And then main event, we got the crazy savage brawler and Exposito versus the technically efficient Jose Delano side. I'm excited, man. It's a good card. I think we're going to get a handful of contracts. I'm thinking at least 3 contracts. I'm feeling like Jimenez gets contracted up. I'm thinking that Cam Rowston contracted up. Lewis Lee Scott missed weight, and if he wins a decision, maybe not. Josh Hokit, they're looking for heavyweights. I'll lean towards yes if he gets a finish. And then I think Delano's live for a contract. But Exposito in a dogfight, if he puts up the run, shit, he might get a contract in loss. So this week's exciting. Smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on. Don't miss the Fight Companion Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I love you guys. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.